this course has helped me so much really come into who I really want to portray, who I really am to my audience, to our clients, to my students, and to become really clear about the message that I'm putting out into the world.
Hello, 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 everyone. I'm so excited to be chatting with you. We have a lovely client spotlight series focused today with Maude, and I will have her introduce herself and share a little bit about herself and her business. You ready?
Hi, everybody. I'm Maude Shellhouse, and I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I'm also a certified behavioral therapist, and I'm a hypnotherapy teacher. And I'm in California. I have been in my business now for almost 27 years, and I love it even more than when I started it.
Oh, that's so good. That's what everyone wants, right?
Super lucky.
Yeah, well, and that's actually really cool because one of the things that I love to think about and talk about is the idea that we have this lifelong relationship with our business, which sounds really far-fetched, or like you don't really think about it when you're just getting started in business, or even if you're a couple years in. So as someone with 27 years in business, that really is a solid thing. Has your relationship changed with your business over the last 27 years?
It has. It has a lot. I mean, I went from just starting in the margins, with my real job as my main focus, to growing it and growing it and growing it. And then learning how to not let it get so big that it took over my entire life.
Oh.
In no small part to Sam.
Well, on that note, I'd love to hear, because you joined the Alchemical Business Intensive this last round, so in fall of 2021, and I'd just like to hear on where you were before, what had you wanting to join, and how you're feeling back then.
So it's funny how that seems like a long time ago and hardly long at all. But I was really feeling like, we were getting towards hopefully the end of the pandemic by that point. Like we were at least past the midpoint. I was really realizing how much my business was thriving during that time. And, it's of course over the years seen lots of, recessions and all kinds of stuff. I started feeling like I really could take it to a new level. And I hadn't felt that for a while because it had been steadily growing for a long time, but I always got lots of ideas, and I just really felt like I wanted some help harnessing some of those ideas, sussing out which ones were the best ones, which ones to let go by the wayside. And I also was feeling like I was getting a little bit blurry about where I left off and my business began. Like I have a tendency to be like, well, I am my business. I think a lot of entrepreneurs that are service-based kind of get a little sometimes confused about that and kind of sucked in in that way.
Yeah, and I mean, even because you have multiple people working for you. So it's not even a solopreneur problem. This is someone like you have a very well-established business for lots of decades, and with a full-on team that's supporting you, and you still feel as though that your business or that line gets really blurry. So that's amazing to hear.
Well, especially because I have a great team, and I'm so grateful that I do. I've still had the tendency over the years to be like, I have a great team, but I have to do everything.
Totally. What was the specific thing when you were reading about Alchemical Business Intensive that really sparked up like, oh, maybe this can help me? Like, what were the elements that spoke to you specifically?
Well, really, the biggest one was that you were working with someone who had grown her business to a huge level. And not only that, but had grown their business to a huge level, doing something that was way out of the box, really doing things, being weird and being just putting it all out there and not having to fit into a certain category. And I just felt like if Sam's helped her with this, like, I want a part of this. Like, I want to see what this is all about, because I know she'll be able to help me bring more of that out as well, and not continue on with this like idea of, well, this is what I think people want. I really felt a need to be like, well, this is what I want to do, and this is what I feel like the people that I'm supposed to help will resonate with. I really felt like reading the material that you put out, that you would be able to help me with that. I was right.
And then what was the reluctance, or what would have held you back if you hadn't have made that decision?
Well, I think like most business owners, if I'm going to invest in something, I want to really know before I do that I'm going to make back the money that I put into it, at least 4 or 5 times over. So that definitely was something that, I'd put like a toe in and then a little bit out. I had to do some thinking about it, because I wanted to make sure that it would pay off. I have in the past hired coaches who have done things like just said over and over again, well, just charge twice what you're charging now, which might be good advice, but it's not at all the whole picture. And then, you come away from an experience like that feeling like, well, I just gave them twice what I should have, but they really didn't help me very much. I really needed to believe that I could make that money back.
Yeah, I hear that. You just describing that made me feel really icky.
It is icky, right?
Yeah. So what do you feel like in these last 6 months since joining the Alchemical Business Intensive, what do you feel like have been the biggest shifts for you, or the results that you've gotten?
First of all, like, you are so amazing at systems, and you have so many resources that you willingly share with the people that you're coaching. That has been incredible. And I know I've expressed this during our coaching sessions, but something that on the surface might look kind of boring, or something that you might be able to figure out by yourself, Sam put so much work into this and has just a huge library of materials available to systematize, so that I'm not spending all of my time trying to figure out these systems and create them. I mean, if I hadn't done that on my own in all these years, what would make me think that I would do it now, right? Without some help. So that's been wonderful. That's really on a practical level, but it frees up so much of my time and energy that it goes way beyond the practical level. But the other piece that really hits me on a more emotional level is that this course has helped me so much really come into who I really want to portray, who I really am to my audience, to our clients, to my students, and to become really clear about the message that I'm putting out into the world. And it feels exactly in line with my Dharma, my purpose. So that's a really, really big deal. And I just wanted to mention that I think a lot of people would think, after being in business so many years, that would be a given. But anybody that does something that is a little bit out of the norm, hypnotherapy certainly falls into that category, might be able to relate that lots of people are going to think your message is weird, and they might not know if it's for them. And it's been so liberating to really fully step into that finally, like, just to put it out there.
Yeah. And how does, as the business owner and not the entire business, how does it feel to have your business aligned with your purpose?
It feels incredible. And not only that, but like having other people work with me and setting that energy there, like being able to be so clear about, this is who I am, this is the purpose of the business, this is my heart's work. this is who I want to bring in, has done wonders for bringing in the right people for my team, the right students, and the right hypnotherapy clients. I mean, it's just really been phenomenal.
Wow. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about who you were attracting before versus who's coming in now.
I think that for many years, I wanted to make sure that everyone felt like hypnotherapy was accessible. So I was doing things like everybody should dress in IBM blue in their picture. Like everyone should make sure that they don't look that weird. Like, like don't put out anything in the office that looks like it could be controversial or too woo or, things like that. The funny thing is that those people are not, the people that would be offended by any of that really are not ideal as clients. They're not ideal as students. They wouldn't be ideal to work here. Like why appeal to the muggles, like as your main audience, if that's not who you are? So again, it sounds kind of like a no-brainer, but be really, really being in alignment with like, hey, I'm going to put out who I am, what the spirit of the business is in its fullest expression, has really brought the people that match that energy, that are super excited about being here.
That sounds relieving.
Yes, it's relieving. And it's also like, I mean, it's worth celebrating for sure, because it makes everything so much easier and so much more fun.
So I know that one of your desires from joining the program had been to open up your space in your calendar, if not to be off work, or at least to be spending time in other areas of your business. Do you feel like you were able to accomplish that in the last 6 months?
Yeah. And one of your suggestions was to actually have my assistant just block off time on the calendar, just because I had so much back and forth in my own mind about it. I always had a hard time telling people like, no, I can't help you on that day. And just something as simple as that has really done wonders for freeing up my time.
How does it feel to have those days back?
I mean, it feels really good. Definitely. Definitely. And, one of the reasons for that is because of what you've taught us in our group about not wasting a lot of our time on things that other people could be doing, like to really be in our own sphere of genius. And that's really been huge throughout this coaching program, because why would I spend my precious time that I've put aside doing all of those little things that somebody else could be helping me with and getting paid for?
Yeah, perfect. So one of the things you said you wanted to chat about was how even though you've been in business for so long, you can still have blind spots. Can you talk a little bit more about that, or about that at all?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's funny that I've like been marketing for a really long time to not necessarily my ideal client and still having a really successful business. But that's really a blind spot. Like starting things one way, feeling like you have to do it that way, can keep you in that rut as long as you're still doing well, right? So my business has been successful through the years. So I think because of that, I didn't want to change a lot of things because they were successful. So just really getting some coaching around new ways of thinking freed me from feeling like I had to continue doing it just because it wasn't broken. And I think a lot of business owners that have had their businesses for a long time just kind of get into that lane, and they just keep going in that direction. And I don't know, like, besides the world always changing and needing to change with it, like, I think all of us can learn a lot from really getting back in touch with what we truly want and what we truly want to bring to the people that we serve.
Oh, so good. So how did you find the group calls and the overall vibe of the program?
I felt like there was a lot of camaraderie. It's been really a chance to share information, and not just information, but really share all of the feels about our businesses together. It feels really good to be with like-minded people, other entrepreneurs, other people there's lots of thought leaders in the group. There's, so many creative thinkers. It's felt like a really safe space together. I felt like a lot of bonding happened really quickly and has stayed with us in the group. And also, I've really appreciated, Sam, how you share your own experiences with the group. When you've faced challenges or made what looks like on the surface mistakes, how you're willing to share them with the group as a learning experience for everybody. That's been huge as well.
Awesome. So what would you say to someone who is thinking about joining?
I would say you should absolutely do it. And I especially want to say this, to any entrepreneur, but especially if you've been in your business for a while and you feel like, do I really need more mentoring? Yeah, you do, because we never grow out of it. We never grow out of that. And if there is something that you want to grow or something that you want to change, like, why would you stop? It's not as fun and engaging to be in business if you're not constantly growing and being in the flow with it. You'll have a lot more fun, you'll learn a lot, and you'll make a lot of your business goals, personal goals too, right? Because they get tied together.
Okay, so I have a more less specific question that I really want to get everyone's opinions on, which is, what does it mean for you to be a visionary CEO?
So it means to be in my sphere of genius, to be a visionary CEO. It means that I'm focusing my energy and my time on what really speaks to me at a heart level. It means that I'm creating good balance in my life, work-life balance, that I'm freeing up my time, that I'm making a great income so that I'm not constantly under stress and pressure, and that I'm able to grow my business through doing what I love to do and having a really competent, engaged, wonderful staff helping me with all of the parts that they love to do so that we can work together.
And so what has been your transformation in becoming the visionary CEO in the last 6 months?
Well, I really have gotten the message from taking this course that I shouldn't be spending my time on the things that I think that I should do just because I think I should do everything in my business. That's been really, really huge. It has been a lot more fun. Like, I really feel like I can bring myself back to that place of what really matters to me. What do I want to focus my attention on? And what is my sphere of genius, and how can I stay there? Because that's really what makes the business what I want it to be.
Well, do you have any final messages, Maude, that you want to share?
Let's do Sam's program. Really, it really is the whole package. I guess one final message is that I thought I was going to get a lot out of this program, but I really didn't know how much was available. But it's put together in a way that's accessible. It's not overwhelming. It's super doable, and just be happier for it.
Thank you, Maude. Really appreciate you. And it's been an honor to be connected with you and watch your business grow. And I'm so excited to see what the next year brings in your business and how much all of this is going to ripple into it.
Thank you so much, Sam, for everything.